We all hear the word leadership being constantly thrown around, but have you ever stopped to consider what it actually means or what it looks like? This video is meant to isolate leadership as a concept and not to solve it. Because once leadership is understood more clearly, everything else begins to make more sense. Most people use the word leadership loosely without stopping to consider what that word actually means. When a term isn't clearly defined, it gets blamed for everything and understood by no one. I'd like you to take a second and ask yourself, what comes to mind when you think of the word leadership? Now, for most people, the word leadership elicits images of people with confidence, with charisma, those holding high positions of power. You might think it entails being out in the open, at the front of everything, being influential, or just being followed by others. So, this thinking is not entirely wrong, but it is incomplete. Now, I want you to ask yourself, why do we often associate leadership and success with visibility? Because the truth is, leadership is not always visible. Being out front, being influential, being followed are all very visible things, but leadership itself is not always visible. And this is why organizations are full of people with or without titles who don't rise to the occasion of leading others or themselves. At its core, leadership is a simple concept. It rests on someone's willingness to take responsibility for outcomes and their ability to influence decisions that drive results before allowing outcomes or other decisions to be forced on you. Intent and effort alone are they're insufficient markers of leadership. When information is incomplete, the pressure is real, and no perfect options exist, a decision point rears its head. And this is the opportunity for leadership to show up. Relying only on your intentions and effort or avoiding these moments of uncomfortability might make you capable, but it doesn't mean that you're leading. This is where people get tripped up. The reality is that leadership doesn't start at work, it starts at home. It starts with you. The way someone handles responsibility, discipline, and decisions in their own life is the same way it will show up professionally. Now, you don't become a leader when someone else gives you the authority to be one. Authority has the potential to reveal what was already there all along. And that's why, in order to fix unfavorable situations or aspects of our professional lives, we must first consider what can we fix in our personal lives and with ourselves to improve our situations, outcomes, and the ability to be a leader. If we don't slow down and think about what leadership is and what it looks like and our role in it, then certain patterns are going to continue to show up. When leadership is weak or misunderstood, decisions slow down, standards drift, and accountability becomes blurry. People are going to start overcompensating for what isn't being decided or enforced. And this is when cultural problems appear or when execution has the potential to break down. This happens not because people are bad, but because leadership is unclear. If leadership really is about responsibility for outcomes and showing up at decision points, then the real question isn't whether you care. The question of leadership becomes dependent on each person's ability to consistently step forward while having the ability to know when to quietly step back. Once leadership is understood clearly, everything else will start to make more sense and it will fall into place. This is why defining leadership matters. Good leadership improves through discussions. So I would encourage those of you that disagree with me or see leadership differently, leave me a comment below. I'd like to hear stories about times, when you were met with decision points and how leadership showed up for you. If you want to further examine how this shows up for you personally or professionally, I've linked my free school community where we aim to build personal and professional leaders. Leadership does not always have to be visible. This betrays the reality that every person watching this video possesses the ability to become more confident and capable as a leader at home and at work. Thank you for watching.